Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the SharpSHOOTers. As always, we're your hosts, Danny and Juice. How's everyone doing tonight? How you doing tonight, Juice?
I have to say, Danny, I am so excited for tonight's episode, and I just cannot hide it.
All
I'm
right.
ready to go. I'm
That's
ready to
awesome,
go.
man. We haven't talked in 2 weeks, so first off, hope everyone had a great Christmas, had a great holiday. Hope everyone had a happy new year, yourself included, Juice.
Yeah,
And
I
and
did.
happy
I
holidays
did.
in general, not just Christmas. I apologize.
Yeah, Chris Mahana Kwanzaa. Come on, man.
All
You know
that.
the song.
Everything. But yeah, no, we needed a week off. Juice did the Hammerstein triple shot in and didn't recover as well, and then everything with Christmas and stuff going on, it was a lot. So we took last week off. We were still able to do our episode this past Monday. Hopefully you caught the shooties. It was a really awesome episode. Really nice layout by our producer. So if you didn't get a
Yeah.
chance to catch that, please just click on our link tree below, look in our on demand, and check out this past Monday's episode. It was really good. Or check the TikTok. We have a couple clips up, so you can check those. If you don't
Ooh,
have time to watch the whole episode, you can watch each clip. They're all labeled which category and what we did, so please give that a follow and check it out.
nice. The tiki taki.
The Tiki Taki.
Always.
And last but not least, if you guys have a chance, please throw us a sub down below. We want to get back to 10. We were doing good for a while, and then the last month or two, everyone kind of just forgot to re-up. No big deal. If you guys can do us a favor, if you're one of our usual sub followers, that'd be great just to redo your monthly subscription. And if you're new to the show, help us out, especially if you have Amazon Prime. That'd be really great. It's free for you, helps us out. All the information's in the chat on the side. Do your best, and we'd really appreciate it.
So if you or our moderator can find out, I noticed from last week we've actually gone up from 2 to 3 subs. So if somebody subbed off screen, I'd like to give them a shout out. Uh,
Oh, I will ask the moderator to find out, and we'll try to give him a shout by the end of the show.
Yep, just a heads up. We'll find out who you were, but thank you regardless. We do appreciate the support.
I agree. Thank you so much.
And oh, his name is John Cena. Apparently, thank you, Jay.
That's
Um,
why we can't see the name. Makes
you know
sense.
he's probably not wrong.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I'm ready to dive right in because we have a lot to talk about. So let's get to this.
All right. Your wish is my command, and we are up and running. And you may start us off, sir.
All right, so I want to get started with the Hammerstein triple shot, the Hammerstein Ballroom, 3 shows in 3 days. We had a lot going on. Didn't get a chance to talk about it last week in depth, so we're gonna do a little bit of a speed run version this week. Some personal highlights of mine. Friday night was Ring of Honor Final Battle. Danhausen returning was awesome.
That's so dope.
Jay Lethal coming back as the Black Machismo for one night was cool. Nigel wrestling against Lee Moriarty, challenging for the pure title, was amazing. Didn't think he'd win, but it was awesome that he actually was the one that wrestled, which was
Right?
really cool to
Yeah,
see.
that is dope.
And I'd probably argue a better match than Danielson's, but I had to watch them both back. Commander winning the ROH TV title was a big surprise. Huge match, huge moment for him. Good for him. Bandito returning and then unfortunately getting concussed and injured immediately right after.
Crazy, man.
Everybody in the building knew it. Everyone knew instantly when he hit the ground and got back up all wobbly. Credit to Big Bill. I don't know if you saw the entire sequence of events that followed, but like Big Bill could tell something was off, and Bandito was like insisting on trying to do the spot, and Big Bill just like took like a kick or a punch and just rolled out of the ring and said, "We're
Yeah.
not doing this." So props to him for that. Athena retaining against Billy Starks. Still hasn't really sat with me or registered yet. I didn't really like it last year, and I feel like I still don't like it this year. When they did it, I'll
Has
trust whatever is gonna happen. But
has
I mean, we're
Athena
talking like
lost the title?
no, she retained.
So no. I was saying. So
Um,
how long has she been champion for now?
we're past 2 years now.
Jesus
Um,
Christ, Roman Reigns over here.
and
But she actually
to be
defends
fair,
it, which is nice.
yeah, she actually defends it. I mean, last year felt like the right time, and then they didn't do it, and you're like, okay, fine, maybe they're going somewhere with it. And then again, she was kind of hurt, I think, mid-year, so that kind of hurt her year. But then by the end of the year, I thought they were going to do it here, and they didn't. So I don't know. I don't know. Didn't
Yeah,
really
that
sit
sounds
well with
annoying.
me, especially to close the show with that. But we'll see how it plays out, I guess. I don't know. Excuse me. From the second and third nights, The second night was probably the best night just because we had third row seats. Everybody kept getting up, so eventually we just pushed ourselves to the front. We were right up against the barricade most of the night, which was amazing when you really think about it. Just being back in Hammerstein, but also for AEW in general. Um, I'm just going to name, I mean, a lot of the Continental Classic matches, which will go into my next point here. Ricochet and Osprey, Osprey and Brody, Ricochet and Darby, Fletcher Garcia. All four of those matches were amazing.
Bangers. It
What
was
an
so
what an
good.
ending! What an ending to the Continental Classic. I think they absolutely nailed it. I think it
Pause 1 second
was. Mhm.
and go.
I think it was. I think it was an A plus. I think it was way better than last year in terms of the overall picture and the booking and the stakes and the numbers and the standings. Very well done. And the last thing I got to talk about, two more things about Hammerstein. By
Keep
the way, if
going.
I'm missing anything about the Hammerstein that you really want me to bring up in chat, let me know. But I have two more things I want to bring up for anybody that was there that wants something discussed here on the show. Um, so the final Rampage aired and they taped it. It was insanity with the final brawl. I don't know if you watched it or saw it.
I did
Um,
not.
Big roster coming out, all the brawl, everyone beating up the ring, beating up each other around the ring, going backstage, breaking the sound machine stuff. Um, I loved
I
that,
had to
but as a
watch that.
whole, the episode of Rampage, I was very disappointed. I thought, I mean, Rampage is Rampage, they're ending it, fine, whatever, but like they could have done so much more to
Yeah.
like send it off. But pay-per-view was the next night, they really didn't care. But I was very
especially
disappointed in that.
especially when you do a pre-taping and like you have the major players there. They don't have to be in matches, but you can put them on the show and like make it a bigger deal for its last night. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. So last thing about Hammerstein, Danny
You gotta tell
and our
us. This is from
Danny
Monday. You gotta tell us.
to Danny to our moderator to all of our viewers watching at home or on demand right now. If you hate me for this story, so be it.
Oh
I have no
no,
regrets.
Juice, no.
I
You,
have integrity.
I want to
I
say something
believe in.
before you start. When you told me it was the Costco guys, all right, I expect carnage. I expect I expect some level of embarrassment for whoever is with you. I expect a feud coming out of Hammerstein, pretty much. And if you're telling
Well,
me that it's the complete opposite, if you're telling me that like there's a possibility of some like co-working, I'm going to be very upset.
all right, my turn. So, um, this is the last day. It's the Sundays, and I'm sitting there. I'm looking down at my phone, and I hear somebody go. I think he's something like, "Oh man, those are great seats. You guys got some great seats." And while looking at my phone, I just hear it. I just go, "Hell yeah!" And I look up. Well, I look down because like I'm above the floor at this point on the little top balcony. So I kind of like raise my head up and look down, and I see right there the Costco guy just looking up at me. He was the one that said, "Man, great seats." And I tell you, the immediate disgust that filled my face once I made eye contact with him and realized who was speaking to me, you could tell he knew immediately. He was just like, "All right, I'm not." He was like immediately was just like, "All right, I'm not bothering with this guy," and like went off and like started talking to other people right there next to him,
Good.
like immediately.
I
Like if
like
I
that.
engaged, he would have started talking to me, but like I didn't say anything to him beyond the hell yeah. I didn't know it was him yet, but that eye contact was more than enough right there. He knew. He's like, "Nope, not this guy. Okay, I'm on. I'm moving on." And he's stationed like right underneath us now at this point, like talking to people, taking
Oh
pictures,
man.
doing the boom, like all this stuff. And at one point, some people start coming up and asking him to like film like videos with him, like do like TikToks or cameos or whatever, like where they plug his stuff and do his promos and like, and so he starts doing whole like things with them. He's on the camera with them. This is blah blah blah, and you should watch da da da, and the blah. They all start doing it with him, and my brother's with me, and he's looking at me. He's like, "You should do one for the show." And instantly, I was like, "No, I can't do it. I have too much integrity in myself. What kind of a man would I be if I went down there and said, 'Hey, Mr. Costco guy, can you do a video with me for the sharpshooters?'" Like, sorry, my apologies to anyone out there that wanted that video or that content, thought it would have done something for us, but I would never be able to live with myself.
Oh man.
And I'm glad I didn't do it. I am thankful I did not do it, but I needed to share on the show that there was an opportunity for me to film a video with the Costco guy, plug the sharpshooters, and post it online, and I did not. I willingly did not take that swing.
It was a setup anyway. I'm glad Jay DeFalco admitted that it was a setup. That's
Yeah, he would
hilarious.
have called me a sellout immediately, and I could not do it.
Now,
So
question
my
for you,
apologies.
because
Yes.
I don't believe I would have done it either. But if I was there and I had done it, would you still do the show with me?
Yeah, but I would have given you shit every week. Every single week, you would have never heard the end of it from me.
You know what? That might have been worth it. We'll see. Next time we have that
Yeah.
opportunity, we'll see if I take advantage of it.
I couldn't do it. No regrets. Okay.
I don't mind that. I really don't. All right.
Honestly, though, Hammerstein Ballroom, home run. It was an amazing weekend. Great shows. It felt amazing to be back in that venue again for wrestling. I haven't felt like that for wrestling in like almost 15 years.
That's awesome.
It was really, really cool. And it made me kind of like, it was like the Grinch, like hard grow in three sizes that day, where like you just like warm up to like so much of like what makes wrestling and not like the business side of it and the social media. It was just awesome.
That's
it was
awesome,
so much fun.
And I'm not gonna lie, just like watching you on TV, you were the pink hoodie guy like on TV for me. It was hilarious. But like watching you on TV, you were enjoying the hell out of the show. Like it was awesome. So I'm really glad. I'm glad guys like Danhausen came back. I'm glad you didn't sell out. That's awesome. And I'm glad that you got to enjoy like a lot of big matches. And something I'm surprised you didn't mention. I'm glad you got to fall in love.
Oh my God!
You didn't mention that.
Okay, well, there's a lot to talk about. So I was trying to.
You got like 20 seconds.
All right. Well, I mean, we were already in love. This was just like reigniting the flame after a bit of a brief. She found to go find herself. But Tony Storm and I held hands numerous occasions during AEW and Ring of Honor throughout the weekend. Just a magical moment. I love her. I love you, Tony.
I'm happy for you.
I'll see you real soon.
Good luck. Well, don't say things like that. But good luck.
Well, no, I blew a kiss. It's
okay.
lovely.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, usually we don't spend this long on one topic, but this was a special occasion just because it was the Hammerstein Triple Shot, and we had to catch up because we haven't been here in about 2 weeks. So, moving on, we're going to go back to our usual programming.
Yes.
And Juice, take it away.
All right. Now, for the Continental Classic, I mean, we got the semis and the finals happening at World's End. We had Ricochet versus Okada. We had Ospreay versus Fletcher. Man, Ospreay electric. I mean,
bro, that opening match was fantastic.
I was pulling for him so hard to win the whole damn thing, especially being there after like that weekend, seeing him like qualify in those matches. Oh, I wanted it so bad. I'm glad Ospreay beat Fletcher.
Yeah.
And then I'm surprised. It's a good surprise. Okada beating Ricochet, and then Okada going on to beat Ospreay. I liked it because it's like you have these A story, this B story, this C story, all kind of going on, and you're thinking, oh my God, this guy and this guy is gonna beat up this guy and fight this guy, and the whole time here's this D story, just simmering, doing his thing, and then bam, just in the end, just punches in and comes through. And like that was the story being told all along. You were looking over here. So
and they were telling us that. They were telling us that the entire time. Like at no point were we like, oh man, I forgot about that. It's like, nah, they told us that last week. I just didn't care. Not that I didn't care. Just like in my head, I'm like, no, but it's not Ospreay and it's not Ricochet and it's not this that's been building up and it's not this and it's like, cool, that doesn't have to happen in the finals of the Continental Classic because that's not what it's about, and I kind of forgot about that, and I love that I got lost in that storyline. It was fantastic, and I love that Okada won. It was a great match, great surprise, especially because it's like one of those like, oh man, this is a pay-per-view that's setting up that classic like babyface goes in at a huge disadvantage, so you know he's gonna come out on top, and it's like, no, sometimes you go in with a huge advantage and you lose, and like that's all, and it was great. And then Omega coming back at the end. I think that was a nice little icing on top.
It was. I probably would have just a little tweak to it. I would have just had him come out.
Right? You didn't need Daniels.
I wouldn't have done the Daniels thing, and then I get they were like formally announcing the EVP thing, but you could have done that part on Wednesday.
I agree.
That's a nitpick. I would have just had bang Omega hit and just come out like what the hell. It still worked. Yeah, Ricochet sucks. I think Ricochet had the best weekend in Hammerstein. He did. I mean, that
Really,
was amazing with the toilet paper, and so much was cut, by the way, off TV that he was doing with the
that's awesome.
chants and the toilet paper. Oh my
No,
God,
he
so
really.
good.
I think and we were talking about it last week. I think this little heel turn. I wasn't. I was a little skeptical. I think it's hitting, and I think it's hitting
Yeah.
real good. And if they keep doing it, especially after this past Wednesday,
Oh,
I think it's gonna be great.
oh yeah. There's one thing during one of the shows with Ricochet. At one point, the last night, I was on like that upper balcony on the
Mm-hmm.
like at eye level with the ring. I just got up
Pause.
and
Go.
I just got up and pointed at the Ricochet. And I just went bald, 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 bald to the point where he like turned and looked right at me and was like, "What the fuck?" Like
How is that
was
the insult today?
it was so good.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Next.
Overall, I think I like the semis and the finals. I think it was good.
Yeah, agreed. Next one we got.
Next up, MJF, Adam Cole. Yeah. So MJF won. He retains and holds on to his Dynamite Diamond ring. After the match, no turn from Bennett or Taven, but the return of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong to assist him and reunite all five of them as the Undisputed Kingdom being whole. And then interesting developments this past Wednesday, last night, when
Mm-hmm.
MJF claimed the story with Cole is done, which
Mm-hmm.
maybe we'll see. I don't didn't feel like the end, but I guess a pause. Um, because yeah, I still don't think it's gonna hold. I still think Taven and Bennett are gonna get mad or annoyed or upset, and they're gonna go with MJF over like Cole being with O'Reilly and Strong, and like the two of them, like the five of them weren't there this past week. It was just the three of them again. So also, I want to see what they're gonna do with the conglomeration
I
because I
was
hate to
about to
say it,
say that
but
too.
I hate to say it, but I have a feeling the conglomeration is gonna like quietly just like fade and die this year. I think they're gonna kind of like leave it in the last year. We'll see. I'd like them to pull that thread, but with the way everyone's kind of going right now, I could see it kind of just being it.
I'll just say I feel like Kyle O'Reilly joining with them kind of cemented that like they're and I don't think they're gonna do it quietly. I think they're gonna have at least like a nice little backstage segment or something. But like I think he's gonna be walking away and like him and Briscoe are gonna do it like and Orange Cassidy maybe will do like a nice little like all right goodbye kind of thing. We're always a conglomeration, but like
Yeah.
taking a break. And I don't think MJF and Cole are taking a break only because everyone's New Year's resolutions is to win the AEW World Championship. Like three people said it on Dynamite alone. So I don't think because like you said they still have a little bit left, especially where they just reunited the three of them. I don't think it's gonna be that over that quickly. And I'm interested to see next week the Gauntlet match how that kind of puts a wrinkle into everything with them and this storyline going forward.
Yeah, because I mean they got involved with Swerve, Cole, and them
Mm-hmm.
too. So I'm inclined to think there'll be some distance for now, but we'll find out in the next few weeks.
Yep.
But I still like how it's all going. Everyone's tired of it and the devil stuff and all that. But I mean, listen, it's a solid, strong story with history behind it. Why would you not keep going
You
for at
had
least
to
a little
finish
bit?
it.
But
Like
yeah.
it's a little different from and we'll get to the point later. It's a little different from a story that WWE did that they just stepped away from and then they just had to finish it cuz people like needed to see it quote unquote. Like this one they had to step away from cuz Adam Cole got hurt. So what are you going to
Yeah.
do? You can't rush it. So now that he's healthy, you finish the story and then kind of move on from it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander 2 at World's End.
All right.
I thought it held up. I thought it was very good. It probably was even better than the first one.
You think so? I was
I
going to
don't,
ask you that.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, they were both very good in their
Yeah.
own ways, and I think that's what's important. It's not like it felt like the same match.
I
And
was going to
like
say that too. They were different matches for me too.
it went like 4 or 5 minutes longer than the first one. This one had more drama behind it because this one you really felt like she could have beaten her.
I thought
Um,
she was. I thought
Yeah,
she
and
had it.
I think that's what's important. I think between this match and the Takeshita and Hobbs match, which I didn't put on here, but like I was concerned, and I still kind of am. Think it's a problem when like you have like Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty like a week later, and like Takeshita and Mercedes are like going to be on those shows. It's like, are they really going to lose their belts right here beforehand?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it put a little doubt there. I mean, Mercedes isn't defending. She's defending one of them, not the one, not the TBS one. But you get my point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, overall, I liked it. I thought they delivered it well. Delivered well. Mercedes came out this week saying she feels like she found a new soulmate in wrestling with Statlander, which was a huge compliment. Um, and yeah, I look forward to seeing what comes in the new year now for Mercedes and these reigns. It should be
I'd
exciting. But
really
hopefully,
argue that Mercedes Statlander for me is like on par with her Bailey. Like the matches they had in NXT and stuff. Like they really that chemistry between the two of them are so well, and these are arguably the two best matches in AEW women's history. Like they are so good singles matches. They stand on their own separate matches. I really, really enjoyed it. And I like this little thing where she's gonna go for a third belt. I don't know if she's gonna beat I can't say thank you. But I'm interested to see where they're gonna go with that, because like is she gonna come back, and is that Mina story gonna translate back to AEW, or is she just gonna do that for the Japan and come back to a different storyline?
Well, for what it's worth, if you didn't hear or if you're not familiar, the Rev Pro Championship that Mina Shirakawa has and is defending is technically a UK company.
Gotcha. Okay.
It wouldn't be a New Japan. New Japan Strong is the US division of New Japan. So technically, two are US based, one is UK based, but New Japan one is for New Japan. So yeah,
I hear you.
But yeah, she could win it. I could see her absolutely winning it, because I think both titles are on the line. So it's either Mercedes is losing the New Japan one,
which I kind of hope. I kind of hope she loses one, just because like there's no point in her having to. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Next up, the main event 4-way for World's End. So I liked World's End overall. I thought it was a very solid show. I thought it was a fun show. The crowd was hot, but they weren't like active, if that makes sense. Like they were popping for the right things, but they really weren't that like.
They weren't leading anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I did not like this 4-way. I did not like the main event at all. I was very underwhelmed by it. I'm not surprised by the result of Mox retaining, but for a match like that, with the amount of time that was left and those 4 people, I had expectations way higher, and I thought the match was very underwhelming. I thought it stunk it up, but left a bad taste in my mouth that I know they tried to get back afterwards, but I don't know how you felt. I thought it was a little overbooked. It was overbooked and under-delivered at the same time. Like they set up all these things and didn't like pay off on any of them.
That's exactly what I was going to say, where I think it was more about them hitting spots than wrestling the match. It was more about them like hitting moments or getting to the right point, and to be like, hey, let's have a 4-way and then let the story kind of tell itself. And then and as much as we knew it was going to happen, I don't know about you, the interference just felt like too much. And like for the Death Rider stuff, I just figured like it might have been a little more subtle or a little more towards the end, and it felt like it came a little earlier than I expected, and that kind of really like just killed it for me, because like once they got involved, I was like, all right, so this is now the rest of the match where it's 3 versus 3 and not a fatal 4-way where like they help him at the end just escape it. You know what I mean?
And then, like, just to bring it up again, but like, okay, so I know you didn't watch Rampage, but Rampage ended with the entire locker room coming out to go after the Death Riders for that huge brawl. You mean 24 hours later, that same locker room doesn't come out now during the title match?
They're too tired now.
Wait, what? Oh,
they're
too tired now.
Too tired.
Okay. And then what else?
And then,
also, like, okay, I'm sorry, no Pac. Like, I'm over it. I'm done with it.
Yeah, what's happening with this? And I was saying this, I was going to bring up the same thing. Are they still the trio champion? Like, what's going on?
They are.
This is
they are.
Yeah, it's just so annoying. Like, do something. If you bring it Pac in, I don't know. It's very frustrating. Yeah.
And then my last note on the main event 4-way I want to bring up, like, ties a little bit into Dynamite, but FTR, team rated FTR, debuting, returning, showing up at the very end. I liked it, but like, again, I get you want to sell the tickets for Dynamite. I would have saved it for Dynamite.
Yeah,
I would have saved it for Max. I wouldn't have done it there. But I think that's them knowing they had a shitty ending and they needed a pop to send everybody home happy.
How do you feel about the new name?
You know, I was gonna bring that up next.
Next.
So for those that, well, right now, like in the last, like, few
hold on
seconds,
1 second. How do you feel about the new name?
So, I mean, this definitely feels like it was his call. I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't mind Adam Copeland. It's his name. I guess they want to market better for Cope. And I know there are people out there that were like, oh, this is a Vince thing. This is a WWE thing. And yeah, it's a branding thing. But like, at least they're not calling him like freaking JJ Squiggles. Like, it's his name. Like, I don't know. I get it. I'm fine with it. I am. It'll take more adjusting. I don't hate it, but I understand people that are like not happy with it. It is weird.
But you know what the funny thing is, and I said it when he first debuted, Adam Copeland just isn't a wrestling name. Like, just it's not. And it's
Yeah.
cool that he got to use his name, and he even said like it's nice to hear, and I never thought I'd hear that in a ring, blah blah blah. But I think he even knows like how do you chant Adam Copeland? Like you don't. Like it's weird. So let me do something with my name, but I think he's trying to rebrand a little bit. You know what I mean?
Adam
Well, that's
Copeland.
fair. I guess you could chant it like that.
No, I know.
He doesn't like it.
I get your point though. I totally get your point. So I don't hate it, but JJ Squiggly is way better. Also setting close to Adam Cole a bit.
I
Okay,
guess.
well now that's a Vince thing.
That is a Vince thing for sure. Can't have two Adams.
Too many Adams. Too many cages.
Moving on.
Yeah, next point, really quick, just want to talk about Jeff Jarrett. You know, obviously I didn't like the segment last night.
Okay.
I think with the roster that you have, something like this with Jarrett, I don't care for it. I get people are out there that do care for it, and they like him because it's probably fun to like him because of the memeing and all the wee woo. But it's like, if you know you're gonna do what you're gonna do, and you're a babyface, why are you even faking out with the boots for retirement? Why are you even doing that? Like, that's what pissed me off. I get it, but I think that was dumb. Like, just come out there, make your proclamation. Don't tease me with the boots and the guitar and the one last ride. Like, just say what you're gonna say, and that's it.
I agree.
Do I think he's gonna win a singles belt in 2025? God, I hope not.
Well,
If
at
he's
least
gonna,
not
it's
the
probably-
world heavyweight belt. Maybe
If he's gonna, it's gonna be the. If he's gonna, it's gonna be the TNT.
That's what I'm saying.
But like, God help us. Like, we're at a point we don't need this. And I
agree.
Sorry.
No,
like
listen. I'm not a Jeff Jarrett hater, but I'm also not a Jeff Jarrett fan. Like I enjoyed his work in like TNA a little bit, depending on what like few years you're talking about. But I never thought he was a bad wrestler. But seeing him in the ring last night, I was just like, man, like I'm sorry, and I hate to say it like this, but like you look old. Like looking at you, you don't look like you're about to be like in your second or third win. You don't look like you can like keep up with a lot of these guys. Like honestly, you're shown in some of these matches that you can't keep up with some of the younger guys as it is. So like I don't know. I'm not too crazy about 2025 where Jeff Jarrett already has more TV time and storyline than Ricky Starks and Wardlow. And that's so funny. Where's Wardlow? Ricky Starks at least I kind of know what's happening. What the fuck's happening to Wardlow?
I think Wardlow's still hurt.
I
think he's still hurt.
I hope so, but like that's the only thing that would make sense. So
yeah. Well, and the only thing I got left I want to talk about was the AEW on Max debut last night. They simulcast on the Max streaming service as well as TBS. Do you have Max? Did you watch on Max?
I was going to ask if you have Max and watch it. I just did my usual streaming site.
Yes, so I do have Max. I did watch on Max because I currently have TBS and cable, and I was debating. I was going to give the stream a few weeks, like a month or so, and if it feels like it's consistently good, I'm cutting cable. I should have a long time ago, but wrestling's the only reason I still have it.
Cable, yeah.
So I watched it on Max, and the stream was good.
Nice.
I thought the picture was better, not like miles, but like the picture was sharper. The audio was louder and clearer. Nothing much different besides that. The only thing I noticed, I don't really care for picture-in-picture personally. But I noticed that Max doesn't do picture-in-picture at all. So like,
because they're definitely doing their ads and stuff.
But yeah, but like while TBS does picture-in-picture, like, and you go to Max, you go back and forth, you get picture-in-picture on TBS, but on Max it's just the full-screen ads. So that would be one thing I would suggest that they work on, is that they try and get the ads on Max as a picture-in-picture for live sports, which you should be able to do at this point, I would think, as a streaming service.
Yeah, it's not going to cost you.
Jay says, also, lest we forget, Jeff Jarrett is there defending Texas Chainsaw Massacre Match Championship. Or whatever. And then my last thing about it is, you didn't get my reference before, but if you didn't catch it on your stream, Dynamite has a new theme song apparently.
Nope, it didn't. It didn't do the opening for Dynamite. It just went right to the first match or whatever.
Oh,
First
well then
segment.
no wonder you didn't get that. Okay. So, as you know, Collision now has back Elton John, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
Awful.
And you don't like that. And I'm sure you're going to hate this.
Oh no.
I don't know if it's every week from now on. I don't know if it was just for the first episode as like a here we are, hello. But Dynamite opened with a new intro using the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited. And
Like
if you
I'm so
don't know,
excited I can't hide it.
that's why I said earlier, I'm
Oh
so
my
excited, and then I
god.
just can't hide it. So I'm so excited. Yeah, that one. So
Like TK, this is wrestling. What kind of music is this? What is happening?
Killer Tomato says, I thought this was a joke on Insta. Nope, this is very real.
Oh my
Um,
god.
Again, I'm curious. They didn't use it throughout the rest of the night, so I'm waiting to see if it's used next week. We'll see. Jesse Spano version was available, by the way. Well done.
That's the only version I would listen to.
You know, like I didn't mind it for Collision because Collision was having a different feel, an old school like Saturday night kind of thing, and it fit. I didn't mind it. I didn't because I these days now every wrestling show or sports thing is like that schlock of like the rap that sucks and like the mumble stuff. I don't like the hip hop techno stuff. So I welcome this, but I wouldn't mind this one going away, or
Yeah.
at least like get in the editing room and like make a more jacked up like punchy version of it because it didn't really hit.
Excited. No, I don't. I
You'll
don't
you'll
know.
you'll see. You'll see. Watch it and you'll see what I mean. I mean, I know you know the song, but I didn't hate it, but I'm not crazy about it. I'd be okay with that one going away. Saturday, Elton John though slaps. That's good. That one can stay.
Killer Tomato says it's Raining Men should play for the tag team matches. Hilarious. I actually like that. All right. So, with that being said, we will be back in a few minutes. We're going to take a commercial break and then come back. Please don't go anywhere.
Yes.
While you're waiting, give us a sub. Take your little time. Go on Prime. Connect it.
Meatballs.
Sub us. Help us out. We'll be right
Meatball
back,
parm.
ladies and gentlemen.
What meatball? Meatball parm sub.
Meatball parm
Please.
sub.
Garlic bread. Now you're hungry.
Hello and welcome
Welcome back.
everyone. We just finished our AEW talk, and now we are up to our WWE talk, and a lot's happening in WWE too. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. Let's start off with the women's tag team drama. So last I left off,
Okay, little brother. There's a lot of big stuff happening in WWE
I swear,
too.
I swear. Okay,
I promise. All right, sorry, go.
Last we left off, we had a tag team champion, women's tag team championship with only one defending champion. Naomi was able to insert herself into that partnership. They defended the belts, and they are now officially tag team champions. And all signs are pretty much pointing to Naomi being the one who attacked Jade and not anyone else. So how do we feel about potentially this being a pretty good swerve? Because I don't think anyone kind of thought about that at the beginning until she started inserting herself more into it.
No, Jade put herself through the car. I made this very clear last month, and I'm standing by it. And if it's not Jade putting herself through the car, it's clearly Charlotte. So,
oh my god! I mean, I kind of also hope it's Charlotte, but the Charlotte thing wouldn't make sense because then what's the point of taking out half a tag team champion and then not coming back to the Royal Rumble or whatever?
That's exactly why it's going to be Charlotte, because it makes no sense.
I mean, but at this point, it's just the Royal Rumble, right? I don't see her coming back for anything special. She might maybe come back for the SmackDown. We'll see. We'll talk about that later, but I don't know about that. So we'll see when Jade gets back, and we'll see how this unfolds. But right now, it's pretty much looking like it's gonna be that, and then that is curious where Bianca falls then, because then does Bianca side with Naomi? Will Bayley stick with Naomi, because Bayley's technically a face, and that'll be a heel thing for Naomi to do? So does Bayley stick with her? Does Bianca turn heel with Naomi? A couple of different factors can play out here if they do it right. Besides Jade, Jade they'll never do it.
And you know what? I know this isn't the first time in wrestling where someone that's been injured has posted stuff online while they're out injured, but it's I don't know if you saw this. Jade Cargill posted a photo of her yesterday or today, covered in blood, sitting next to a fence, and I'm like, all right, cool.
She's still recovering.
Come back then. What are you doing? You taking pictures of you covered in blood? That's neat, I guess. But who attacked you? Come get your pound of flesh.
That's fair.
What are you scared? That's why I think it was her. She wanted to go model and stuff for a month or two.
All right.
With her kid.
All right. Next,
say it. Step up.
Next topic, we go from the women's tag team drama to the men's tag team drama.
Man, save it for your mama. By the way, before you keep going, just want to give a quick shout out to the anonymous gifter, whoever gifted a sub in our chat during the ad break. We really do appreciate you. Falvatin got the sub, and I'm sure he will take a lot of great care with it, be very loving to it. But thank you to the anonymous gifter. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much. So going back to the men's tag team drama that I can't say for my mama, I gotta give to you. We last left off with DIY winning the tag team championships after an anonymous attack of the Street Profits. After that, they did a pretty good promo last week where kind of, Gargano explained himself pretty well. I liked it, and I think they're going in the right direction with it. And this past week, we had DIY walking in with their belts to the general manager and the Street Profits just standing in the backstage waiting to interrogate them, which is hilarious. I always find that funny. Pretty Deadly inserted themselves and pretty much told them that it wasn't DIY and that it was Legado del Fantasma, pretty much. So put a swerve in there, which set up a tag team match. Good tag team match. Street Profits won. They came back. They told Pretty Deadly, thank you very much. After Pretty Deadly walked away, Motor City Machine Guns were there, and they're like, hey, we're the next ones up for a shot. I know you think you're next in line, but get to the back of the line. And while they're arguing about this, of all people, Apollo Crews comes into the situation and lets Street Profits know that, and Motor Machine Guns know that they were all being played, that Pretty Deadly lied, and that it was actually DIY who attacked them. How do you feel about all that?
Was that all in one night?
That was all in one night.
See, that could have been a month of storytelling.
Thank you. That's the first thing I said. That the story itself is great or good, but you just literally just went boom, 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 boom in less than an hour because it wasn't the main event or the opening match. So less than an hour, they did all that.
You know what probably happened there? They probably like took out their like 2024 booking like spreadsheet. They're like, we gotta purge this thing for the new year. Just whatever you got left, we're doing it tonight. And
Just
they
do it
just like
all
pop,
out.
pop, 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 pop.
Oh
That's too
man, so
much.
yeah, so I don't know
Too
where it's
much.
gonna go from there. Just kind of left off with them being angry and like discussing, but they knocked that out really quick, and I agree with you. I think that could have been spread out. It wasn't, so we'll see where this kind of leads. I think Royal Rumble leads to possibly a triple threat tag team match.
Danny. When will you learn? He doesn't put tag team title matches on the pay-per-views. It ain't gonna
You're
happen.
right. Sorry about that.
It's
Well, I
not.
figured because it's two Royal Rumbles, they don't have a lot of singles.
It's gonna be
Nah,
the night before. Night before.
on SmackDown, 3 hour SmackDown.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
3 hour SmackDown. You heard it here first. Hold on.
It's alright, cause I'm saved by the
You
bell.
heard it here first. Triple threat tag team title match the night before Royal Rumble, even though they're probably going to do a 2 day Royal Rumble. Anyway, moving
Not
on.
this year.
I know. Moving on, we have KO and Cody. So one thing I love that KO is doing is just carry around the winged eagle belt. I just love seeing it. It's great. But this has set up, they did a promo this past Friday where they're going to do a ladder match. They're going to hang both belts up and do a ladder match to crown the undisputed champion, pretty much. KO is saying that he wants a situation where a referee can't, quote-unquote, screw him over like they did at the past pay-per-view. And Cody wants no referee so he can do what he wants to do to KO without anyone stopping him.
I don't mind it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the match. I
Mm-hmm.
like the storyline going. My only note is that when this match ends, regardless of who wins, I don't want to start seeing two belts again.
I don't think so. I think it's one of those things where like they're trying to get the winged eagle belt from KO and he refused to give it up because it was a symbol for him and he said he'd give it up if he gets a title shot, and then Cody specifically said, "Don't give it back. I want you to hang that up because I want that to be symbolic pretty much, and I'm going to take both of them." So it really seems like it's just a symbolic gesture. If they start carrying around both belts, it wouldn't make sense. Like like at least the other situation, I get it, but the other situation, they were two separate belts representing two separate things. This is the same belt representing different eras, so it really wouldn't make sense. If that happens, though, I just hope they go with the winged eagle belt.
I'm just saying, I know WWE, they have their boner for wrestlers holding two
It's
belts.
weird, man. It's so weird, but
They fucking love it.
I'm very excited for this ladder match. I think it's going to be a really good match. I think this story has been told real well. Possibility of Randy Orton coming back. Who knows? It's an Royal Rumble, so we'll see how that happens. But yeah, hopefully this match really delivers and has that pay-per-view going well. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, moving on to Raw. So before I had mentioned how people were upset that Adam Cole and MJF, they feel like they just had to do it because, whatever, which me and you both agreed. Nah, they got pushed off and they had to finish it because it was a good story going into it. This is a completely different situation where we had Otis and Gable set up on a silver platter months ago. They very adamantly steered away from it, like with no reason, no actual given reason, just they went their own separate ways. And now they like kind of force fed it the last 2 weeks to us where they had, because I think now that they're doing all this roster shakeup, they want to make sure that little thing gets told before the end of it. So they did this whole thing where last week they threatened and then he beat up Tozawa. So this week it was him versus Otis, and it's a big payoff. And like, obviously underwhelming match. Obviously, I think it was a DQ finish, so not even a good finish. It was just terrible, man. And like, I don't understand why they had to force it if they're not even going to give it like a good show. It was just so upsetting.
Too little, too late, and I'm sorry,
So
Chad
little,
Gable.
too late.
Chad Gable, you're a fool. I mean, you had the world in your hands like a year ago with this Walter stuff. And like a fool, you bought in and you signed the contract extension.
Mm-hmm.
You signed it and you went right to the back of the line. Listen, maybe you're happy. Maybe this is what you want. But man, you got fleeced. Like, He was probably supposed to win the title at Mania. They
Oh,
probably
sorry,
gave it
sorry.
to,
I
they
just
gave it
looked it
to
up.
Sammy.
It wasn't a DQ finish. It was a distraction, and then Gable got the tap out on Otis. So Gable actually left with the win on this.
Terrible. It's awful. I
Still
hate
awful because you give Otis the win and then you send the heels kind of packing and let them kind of revamp themselves. But
it. Means nothing.
whatever. All right, moving on to the next point from Raw. So, new theme. So, oh God, I was like,
I'm
new theme
so
song.
excited.
Speaking of new theme songs, the Judgment Day has a new theme song. How do we feel, Juice?
Booty cheeks.
Booty cheeks.
They are the biggest, fattest booty cheeks I've ever heard in my earballs. They are terrible.
I just want to point out that
Awful.
not an hour after we voted them the worst tag team of 2024, they cemented their spot with the worst theme song change before the end of 2024.
They're done. They're over. They are so done.
It's so bad. It's not even a good song. Like, the one thing I don't want to hear, some people are like, there's no one like, why are they doing rap? There's no black guys, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't make sense. That's a stupid argument. The song is bad. The theme song itself is bad.
All bad.
AJ has a rap song. It's great. It works for him. The song is bad. It's just terrible. So, yeah,
They need to fire those people.
We had to say
they need to fire whoever is doing the music. Def Rebel, I think they are.
It's been bad, man.
Fire Def Rebel. They're
Get
awful.
Jim Johnston back. He was great.
Nah, I don't think he wants to do it. Just fire them.
It's true.
Jesus Christ.
It's so bad. All right.
I'd rather they fire Def Rebel before firing Triple H. It's that bad.
All right. So a point that got put on before today's news. So this was just a happy point before today. I was actually pretty excited for it. The Women's Intercontinental Finals was supposed to be this coming Monday on the debut of Raw on Netflix. They set up a great match between Dakota Kai and, I can't say her name, help me out, Lyra
Valkyria.
Valkyria. See, I said Valkyrie. Valkyria. So it's going to be a great match. Like, those are two very strong women wrestlers. I'm glad that Dakota Kai got a surprising win, in my opinion, and I'm glad that she got pushed towards it. But then the news today gets put out that they're taking them off the Raw on Netflix because there's apparently not enough time, or they want to make sure they get like the proper spotlight or whatever bullshit they want to come up with.
Yeah, it's bullshit. They don't want them lost in the shuffle. Like, that's complete bullshit.
I don't understand.
You book your show. You're on Netflix. Give it the time you want it to get then.
Right,
like,
as far as I'm concerned, aren't there only 2 matches?
You've been booking this for a month.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first match you knew you were doing on your sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So stick with it. Like, you're bailing now because what? Because like Logan Paul's going to show up for a 20-minute like freaking prime circle jerk. Like, stop it. Feature your talent. Put them on there. Because what are you going to do now? What's the women's thing now? Becky return? You can run late there and no timetable on Netflix. Very true.
Very
true.
No,
there's Liv and Rhea. There's Roman and Solo. There's Seth and Punk.
Yep. Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre got announced last night or Monday night. No. And apparently John Cena's retirement tour also begins on Monday on Netflix.
There's time. There's
so much time.
It's bullshit.
They can open the show, give them 10 minutes, let them open the show, and then you have 2 hours still to do the other 5 matches.
Like, the whole point is to make history. That was why you did it. It really irks me.
No,
but it's typical them. Like, you push that, take Jay and Drew off the show.
Right? Like, Jay and Drew's not like this hot feud that needs to be told on Netflix right now. I 100% agree. It's very frustrating. And that brings us... Go ahead.
Okay, go.
No, go ahead.
No, go. It's going to lead into your point. It's fine.
So then that brings us into our next point of Raw on Netflix is already off to like... I'm not too crazy about what we're expecting to see. We have a tribal combat match that I don't care about. We have Jay versus Drew. Great. I mean, that's going to be a good match, but like now that I know it bumped a Intercontinental title match, I'm kind of annoyed by that. John Cena's retirement tour, I am looking forward to that. I'm not going to lie. Punk versus Rollins, I'm looking forward to. And then we have a last woman standings match, which I know it's going to be like their main point, but like we've seen Liv and Rhea. That could have been pushed off for Royal Rumble. Like that could have been pushed off for another night where you could have showcased it. But now you have to, what? Now we're going to have 5 matches. One of these are going to get shorter on time. Probably going to be Drew versus Jay, or maybe Rollins versus Punk. They might swerve us on that, which would be bullshit. I just don't know. And Raws, I believe, can only be 2 hours. So,
yeah, I'm not buying that because listen, SmackDown's going to 3. They're going to be on Netflix. It's going to go over 2 again. It's going to go back. I don't buy it.
I agree.
I do not have Netflix. I will not be watching Raw this week. I am a little intrigued, but
I will let you know how it goes. I'll like you gave the Max update, I'll give the Netflix update.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, I'm just gonna say this is gonna be a very old man like yells at clouds kind of thing, but I do mean it, and I think you'll get my point.
Go ahead.
I think I get SmackDown still on USA, and I get that AEW is still going to be on TBS simulcasting, but I think this trend of all of the wrestling more or less getting onto streaming only is going to hurt like the future of wrestling in a lot of ways, because I think back to how I got into wrestling. Granted, this is before the internet too, like before I was really using it, like just channel surfing. I just caught Taker trying to like embalm Austin, like, and like that hooked me. Like I'm just saying, like changing the channel.
You just said it. I remember that segment like so vividly as once you said it. That's so funny.
But like changing the channel and just catching wrestling being on. And again, I know I'm just thinking about one night, kind of 2 nights. It's not that big of a deal, but I don't like the precedent of where it's going, where wrestling won't be as accessible to new fans. Like no one knew as we were going to turn on Netflix and go to wrestling.
No, I agree.
Like, you could find it on TV.
I think the argument there is that there's no reason to take it off both. Like nowadays, it's not about channel surfing as much as I hate to admit it. It's all about what short clips you can see. So as long as you get some clips out there and people are seeing the clips, then they'll try to find a way to see the show. That's the hope. But once you put the show on just streaming, then you really limit who can see it. That's my main problem. It's not so much that like the streaming. Hold on one second. It's not so much that like someone's gonna not channel surf and see it to me. It's someone's gonna see a clip and be like, "Oh, I don't have Netflix. I'm not paying for Netflix," or "I don't have Max. I'm not paying for Max." So like, it doesn't matter. Whereas like maybe if they had cable, they can be like, "Oh, I'll try to see the show or whatever. I'll try to see this here." So I don't know.
Yo, pause real quick. All of Accept the Wind is here in the chat. We say hey and thanks for using our music. Yo, Accept the Wind. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you letting us use your music at the beginning, at the end, and in the middle of all of our shows. We do appreciate it. Last we checked, we think it's still just the acoustic stuff that we have access to. We're not sure if that got resolved on your Spotify, but regardless of the fact, we love having you on. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. And anyone here that's watching or listening, if you are checking out Accept the Wind, head on over to Spotify, YouTube, all them good socials, and type in Accept the Wind, ACCEPT, Accept the Wind. They got some dope music going on. Just check them out.
Thank you again, gentlemen.
Yes.
And last point of the night, possibly, definitely for WWE in my opinion, but possibly in wrestling, promo of the year. I don't know if you caught it, but Rollins and Punk lit up the microphones on Raw to end it, and it was pretty good.
Danny, it's January 2nd. Which year?
Of last year.
Wow. It's a big swing. Promo of the year
on the last night.
That late in the game. I don't know, man.
Did you catch it by any chance?
I did not.
You did not? Wow. Okay. I will say
not.
This is something that you definitely have to go watch. Punk and Rollins really laid into each other and really mixed a lot of real life with wrestling very well. You felt like the intensity, you felt the passion, but you also, like, as a wrestling fan, also felt like, damn, these are two just professional microphone workers just going at it and doing it wonderfully. Becky Lynch was mentioned in there in a very nice way. It was just really good stuff. Punk almost lost it. What do you mean Punk almost lost it? Like lost the battle of promo, or
Nah,
like
he
lost his
probably
composure?
means he probably means his temper.
I don't know, man. I think that's just Punk playing into what Punk does. I honestly was mad on the promo. They did exactly what I knew they would do. Nothing really surprised me or made it feel better than the MJF Punk promo from a few years ago. Not bad. I mean, I do also really like the MJF Punk promo. I think what made it different though is just kind of how it all started. Like the MJF Punk promo was different. That was just that was Punk leaving and like killing MJF's hopes and dreams. Where this was like, you backstabbed me, you left me high and dry. Like you were supposed to be here for me and you weren't. The reason I left you was because you were Vince's little boy. Like it was just so much stuff in there that you had to like kind of go through. That I think it was a little more intricate than the MJF Punk promo personally, but that's just my opinion on it.
So I will check it out, but I will say I feel like I told you this. I said this about a year or so ago. I'm more or less done with the wink wink behind the curtain promos where they take shots at each other.
Oh
All of
yeah,
wrestling.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm kind of done with that where it's like take a shot. Oh, like I'm over it. So I probably won't enjoy the promo.
So
But
let me ask you a question.
I did see one part of it though, where Seth took a shot and it's like, "Oh, you left for the competition." It's like, really, dude? Like, you guys go so long saying AEW is not competition, and it's like you guys are up here, okay? Like WWE's here. Like, don't take that swing like like you're some victim or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That kind of pissed me off, but whatever.
I'll put it like this: if you remember the MJ Adam Cole promo from a few weeks ago, where he mentioned like Britt Baker and you don't have a dentist anymore, if you like that, hold on.
Yeah.
If you like that, then you'll like this promo. If that's the kind of stuff that you say you don't enjoy anymore, then you won't like this promo.
Yeah, I probably won't. I mean, listen, like it just I don't know, maybe I'm just so burnt out on it. Like after everything that
No,
happened like over the
totally.
last few years, like I just don't care for it anymore. I just want to enjoy the wrestling I have on my screen. I don't really care for the
I
inside
I
baseball.
think the problem I think the problem with the way wrestling has gone though with the characters is that since they're not really characters anymore and that they have to
Yeah.
play like this like close to life persona now, that all these promos now have to be close to life promos and they can't be like character based anymore. It's like it was like Austin the Undertaker back in the day where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kick your ass, dead man," blah blah. It's like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat you up and send you back home to your two kids," or blah blah blah. It's like I
And
don't
the
need to
thing
hear
is,
about
like,
everyone's kids every time you say you're gonna beat the shit out of them. Like I get it, they have kids and they're not gonna have a dad. Like go home. I don't care about
you know
that.
what though? I'd rather that traditional kind of wrestling story
Me
lane
too.
than like here's the thing, like when it was so like early on with AEW and the shots were being taken, it was like a rah rah like us versus them thing. Now everyone's like so in their lane with how it is, the structure of wrestling, the
Hmm.
status of it. Now it's like this, you know, like you do that promo and it's like I know Punk's in on it, I know Rollins is in on it. No
Exactly.
one's no one's taking a true shot at the other. So I just sit there and I'm just like,
I agree.
like give me a real shot, like piss them off, like really piss them off.
I
I don't
think
know.
what Killer
That's my
Tomato
thing.
was referring to was there was a line about Punk's kid in there, and Punk looked like he got mad for a second. But like again, I don't think you make that comment about his kid without him kind of knowing about it, or at least him understanding like I'm taking shots at you, you take shots about this or whatever. So it's strange.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
I don't
huge week in wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hope that you guys were entertained. Thank you again for the anonymous sub. Thank you again for Accept the Win joining in on us and the viewership tonight. We hope that you guys get a couple more follows. By the way, so definitely Penta Monday, right? Oh, you know what? Really quick, I'm surprised I didn't include that. I thought I did. I don't think you're going to be happy with Penta's debut, bro. I truly, truly believe that they are.
Is he teaming with Rey
I
Mysterio?
truly believe so. They had
So
a
fucking
they had
predictable.
a
The
segment
luchadors.
backstage. They had a segment backstage with the New Day, and it's with the New Day, where they had the New Day being like, "Oh, you're the locker room leader. Why don't you face us next week? Who's going to be your tag team partner? This chump, this chump, this chump, this Smurf, whatever." So they're building
You
it up
know,
to like someone that's not part of the LWO. But what's going to piss me off is that means he's going to come in as part of the LWO, and it's like if you put Penta in the LWO to start off his WWE career, I really might not watch Raw. I might just watch SmackDown. Like I don't know. I don't know.
God forbid a luchador exist in wrestling
It's
without Rey
crazy.
Mysterio being in the orbit. Like
It's crazy.
that's what is it's gonna be a joke though. It's gonna be such a joke. I
I'm
can't
so
wait.
scared, and it's gonna be such reality on Monday, and it's gonna be so upsetting. So with that, I'm sorry to leave you guys on such a sad note. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I
It's
pray
all
to
right.
God I'm wrong. I'll pray to God Penta shows up and just cleans house. We'll see what happens, though. Ladies and gentlemen, please come back Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going back to our regular schedule next week. Sorry, took me a brain fart there. We're going back to our Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. schedule next week. So please join us for our new year. Hope you guys have a great start to your new year, and we will see you guys on Tuesday. Peace out,
Yeah,
everyone.
we're gonna be doing some Royal Rumble themed stuff throughout the month. Also, if you have any ideas or suggestions for anything you want to see us do here on the show, write it in chat now or hit us up on our Twitter or Facebook profiles. Let us know on our socials any ideas or suggestions you have, anything you want to see us do. We'll be happy to check it out and play.
Peace out.
Peace out. Outs.